Hello, everybody. Welcome to week 2. Now, you'll find this video obviously under what to do during week 2, maybe posted announcements, depends on the course itself. So, here is effectively what you got to do during this week. Last week, we just had a basic introduction. We had to make sure we get everything installed, and you absolutely should make sure you have the Python stuff installed because this week we're going to be using it. If you haven't done that yet, do that now on your personal computer. We may, if you're in a physical class, every Python and idle is on every single computer on campus. But you need it on your personal computer too, because as the class goes along, you won't be able to finish it in class when we get to some of the more advanced programs, particularly if you stick around for programming 2 and maybe programming 3 for those computer science majors. You will have to do some stuff at home, so you need to have this stuff installed, preferably week 1, which is why I've got it posted in week 1. If you haven't done so yet, do so now in week 2. Because you absolutely have to have this installed. I should not be getting a message or a mail or a question, how do I install this, when it's like 6 weeks into the course. You should already have that stuff ready to go. If you have problems with that, you can find me, and I will be happy to help you figure out whatever it is you need to figure out to get it working. So, notes about programming lectures. I'm going to post all the lectures here. In physical class, I would give roughly a similar lecture in class. Online, obviously, the lectures are here. And it's the same thing I give in class for the most part. It changes from class to class because I don't use the exact same thing. So if you're in person, you can check the videos here, and they'll probably be slightly different. Give you a little bit of variety if you want to check those. If you miss a class, well, the videos are here. If you're online, well, obviously, this is going to be your main mode for checking those lectures. I have little information about idle and NetBeans IDE. Now, NetBeans, you may note, like in any of my lectures that I have going on here. Let me open this up. This is me just talking about how those work in particular. That's one of the first things you're going to want to look at. Now, every lecture that I give, here we go. You'll note that I have a Java video, or at least I'm supposed to have a Java video. I'm not sure why that's not showing up right now. And I have a Python video. The main focus of the class is going to be Python, so you're going to want to go to the Python video. And my Java is not showing up for some reason. I'm not sure. There should be a Java version of pretty much every video. I'll see if I can't fix that, figure out what the problem with that is. But we're going to be testing and working over Python. The Java is there because this course used to be Java, and we had to change to Python. So I just left my old videos up for anyone who wanted to see how it's done in another language. So it's pretty much the same concept, but it's a different language, so you'll be able to kind of see both of those. If you don't want to worry about the Java, where you're not going to be tested over it, you can just go straight to the Python. But how this works is, effectively, when I introduce you into doing things, you're going to open up idle, my video is going to be playing, or you're going to be in class while I do it, and you're going to type in whatever it is I'm making. Now, ideally, after you do that, play around with it. Change a couple of things. That's how you get better at this. Programming is very much practice. The more you practice, the more you mess up, the more you play around with it, the better you're going to get. If all you do is just watch the video and then that's it, you don't actually write any of the code, you're not going to remember any of it. To remember this, you need to do it. And you need to do it a fair bit, a lot, if you can help it. So, just a little information there. So, introduction to prints, our first actual program. We'll write a couple of bits of program. I'll explain how each line works. You'll probably run into a couple of ways you can break the program and how not to do that, because that's going to be basically a constant throughout the course. Now, the first program we're going to do, and this is the first programming assignment you're going to turn in, and the dates and everything will vary depending on the semester. So don't mind the dates in the videos. I have a little video walking you through basically what I want you to do. Basically, I'm going to tell you, just like in this video, write this program. You'll follow along, we'll write a simple program, and then I will tell you to turn it in. And that's what happens here. This is our very first program we're going to turn in. Once you turn it in, you'll see basically how it's going to work for the rest of the semester. It's going to work the exact same way. You'll write your program, you'll save that file, you'll upload that file here. And then I'll show you how the grades and all that stuff work as well. There's another lecture, Introduction to Variables. So this week is prints and variables, which I did not mean to click on that, but you kind of see. There you go. And my Javas are not showing up for some odd reason. I'll try to make sure I can fix that. I'm not sure why that's the case. It could just be my browser, but I'll double check. I like having both of them there. But Python is what you should focus on. Now, there's also a book assignment. There is a book with this course, at least as of right now. I think that's going to change actually next semester, which probably means I'll have to redo all these videos. Hooray. But the book is under course materials. So you can simply just click on that and it'll take you to the book at some point after a bit of deliberating here. There we go. It may click and ask you to click some stuff, but there's your book. You hit read now, it'll open it up in another tab. You can do this in a tablet, you can do this on your computer if you want. I have a fairly sizable screen. In fact, the screen that you see is half my screen right now. The other half is to the right over here. But you'll see I've got the entire book. There's 916 pages. Now in this assignment, book assignment, I tell you specifically to basically write, here's the range that I want you to read through, and there are 3 programs I want you to actually write. Once you write those programs, you're going to submit it here just like we did with the previous program. When you reach 64, that's the end of the variables. You can save and submit there. So if we go to the book, which I think I put here, I said I want you to copy 23, 24, 25. And you can do all this in one program. So you don't have to make like multiple programs. Maybe make a little comment about this is program 2.3, this is program 2.4, right? So you'll see I've already got a 2.5 on here, but this is program 2.5. And you'll see it says 2.4 comment. That's not a program. The programs, it actually says program 2-this, 2-that. That's what you're going to want to look for. I'm currently at the end. This is the last program you're going to have to write. You don't have to worry about 2.6 or anything after that. You stop right here. Now I'm going to back it up a bit. And you see it says 2.3 displaying blah, blah, blah. We scroll down. There's 2.1. Well, the book program I asked you to write was 2.3, 2.4, 2.5. So we just simply have to read through. And you can write these if you want. But the ones I want specifically, 2.3, 2.4, and the next one, which would be 2.5. So those ones specifically are what I'm kind of looking for. And like I said, you can scroll back and kind of look through some of this other stuff. Most of this is just explanation, and it's pretty good to know what most of this is. There are several pages on each page usually. It explains kind of how everything's working. And then actually there are some built-in videos on how some stuff works as well as with the programming summit. I just want you to have more practice. That's what the book work is about. You doing a bit more practice, because the more practice you have, the better it's going to be. So that is what you have to do this week. Back to my modules. I clicked on things. All right, here we go. Ta-da. So you have the program where I'm going to walk you through it, and then this book work you're going to do as well, just for some extra practice. So those 2 assignments are this week's work. Now we're getting pretty close to where we actually are going to do a program kind of solo on our own. We have a little bit more to cover before we do that, but your first real programming project will involve everything we've covered plus a little bit more. We've still got to cover user input and doing some math stuff and things like that, and then we're pretty much ready for our first kind of project. We still have a week or so to go until we get to that point. And then every week we'll kind of follow the same flow. We'll have a simple project one week, the next week will be slightly more complicated, and then the third week, every chapter kind of has 4 weeks in it. The third week will be everything we've covered up to that point in the class. So that third program is generally going to get bigger and bigger and bigger as we go through the course. Just to give you an example, the program we do, like the first real big program we turn in, is probably about 20 lines of code. The last program we turn in this class is somewhere around 100, depending on how you write it. If you stick around in programming 2, the last program can actually be 500. And programming 3, well, that's a whole different thing altogether for those who are computer science majors. So that is your walkthrough for week 2. If you have any questions, again, reach out to me. I'll be happy to help out. If you don't, well, then get to work.